turned out. We are
The
live.
San Francisco 49ers are fucking first place.
Worst place 49ers, a game that I never doubted one single time, Jason Aponte. The 49ers beat the Arizona. I don't even know what the final score is. I just printed over. What is it, 17, 16, 16, 15, something like that? The 49ers win. What a game, Jason Aponte.
Okay. First of all, a win is a win is a win is a win. The 49ers are 3-0. They have the number one seed in the NFC, whatever, if you want to go tiebreakers. The number one in the NFC West. We're going to talk a lot about how this game unfolded, how it went. Bottom line, the San Francisco 49ers scored more points than their opponent, and they won the game.
Yeah. They 16 to 15 the final score, just to clean it up, Jason. And I where do we start? Because my thing is, I want to start. The Niners can win ugly, close games. They didn't do it all year last year. I think, like last season, Sky Moore calling for a fair catch at the 5-yard line, leading to a safety, which, by the way, Dominic Puny was not in the end zone when he held that man. That should not have been a safety. But this is a game the Niners lose 10 out of 10 times last season. Like, they do not win this game last season. And now we're talking about an ugly win against Seattle in Seattle, a close win against New Orleans in New Orleans, and now an ugly win against a team that we talked about on Friday, Jason, that the Niners really struggle with. I don't know how they won. The Niners are 3-0 right now, man. I like, what a silly game we just watched there.
For the people that are going to say, oh my God, they're struggling and oh my, I'd rather almost lose than almost win.
Yeah.
10 out of 10 times.
Yeah.
No room for moral victories. All you need are W's. This team has many things they need to clean up. This team needs to play their best football when it matters. This team won 3 games in which they have not played anywhere near their best football. 2 of them with a backup quarterback with a bum knee.
Yeah.
The San Francisco 49ers are 3-0 with a chance to go 4-0 against the Jacksonville Jaguars and with a chance to really solidify themselves with another division win in Los Angeles. Andrew Pasquini, my God, man. Never a doubt, but this team, they really, really, really know how to make it scary, man.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty obvious. Mac Jones was on one leg at the end of the game there. He obviously hurt it. I mean, he couldn't even get a handoff off to Christian McCaffrey. And he just led a very quick, 5-6 play drive down the field to get the Niners in field goal range. It was a 10 play drive. Sorry. It was very fast. So it was a 10 play drive. Jason, I guess maybe we could start with, how fucking cool is it to have a kicker you can trust? How cool is that?
You know, it's funny because I don't even think about it anymore.
No,
like I really don't think about it. But you know, it's good. You know, again, that last drive was a masterclass, right? It just was, you know, obviously getting the ball to Tonjes, you know, there, and then Christian McCaffrey, you know, the big 20-yarder. But I mean, when you get it that close, that was even closer than an extra point, you know, and it was right in the middle. Like, what we've noticed in these 2 weeks, or these 3 weeks, is this would have been a loss in 2024. We would have got on here and been yelling how we lost this game. But the minor details, which the 49ers need to absolutely fix, you know, we're going to talk about special teams in a little bit. But 2-minute drive at the end in New Orleans, expertly crafted by Mac Jones. Game-winning drive, expertly crafted by Mac Jones, literally going probably the length of the field from the 20. Like, this team, they have things they need to clean up. Renardo Green needs to be more disciplined. I want to give a shout out to the defense, but they're very much doing the little things at the right times that win football games, and that's the difference between winning and losing in the NFL. The margins are so slim.
Well, the little things.
Andrew, real quick, that TV in the background is super loud.
Yeah, I got to get. Let me talk for a second. I'm gonna turn.
I got you. Look, again, this game, you know, it wasn't pretty. It wasn't really, like, you know, impactful. Matt, Who cares, man? The 49ers are 3-0. Like for real, thank you for the donation. The 49ers are 3-0. And we're talking about the bum ass Titans. Look, the things that you're seeing, the little things, these would have never happened. These would have never happened last year. And all you can ask, if I'm gonna tell you that Mac Jones is gonna start 2 games, you can sit there and say we'll take 1-1, right? Like you can't be like greedy, right? And just say 2-0. You'll take 1-1. Now 2-0, like you're playing with house money now, and as close as Brock was ready to play, he's gonna play next week, and I wouldn't be shocked if that knee isn't ready to go or whatever it is. So yeah, I mean, great job.
You got to feel good where this is rolling. You mentioned the little things the defense did right. A play that cannot be forgot: Upton Stout's pass breakup on Zay Jones on that.
That was incredible. Him and Fred Warner. Those are the plays that you're going to remember. Like in this game, especially when we watch it back. Fred knocking down the pass, Upton Stout playing all the way through the whistle, knocking out the ball. Man, like that's the type of stuff that you need. Again, look, the defense bailed them out time after time.
Yeah.
But that's a good thing. Complementary football. The defense gives the offense a chance. The offense rewards the entire team with a game-winning drive, and that's how you win games, man.
All right, so let's start unpacking this. Where should we start? Mac Jones, 27 for 41, 281, a touchdown and interception. I thought he did fine. He obviously was hurt. The run game concern. Let's start with Ricky Pearsall. I want to talk Ricky Pearsall because I feel like that's the big one here. The Niners. Mac Jones completes 27 passes. 18 of them go to Ricky Pearsall and Christian McCaffrey. Maybe the play of the game for the Niners up until the last drive, that 40-yard 4th and 2 deep shot to Ricky Pearsall. He goes up and gets it. He pulls it down for the 34-yard gain. I apologize. The Niners score a touchdown a couple plays later. I think I am officially comfortable with saying, Jason, we are watching a superstar bud in front of our eyes with Ricky Pearsall. I mean, this is a game where you're not really sure where Ricky Pearsall's standing is entering the season. He kind of enters the season as your quasi number 1 receiver because of injuries to Ayuk, because of injuries to Juwan Jennings. And then today there is no Jennings, there is no Ayuk, there is no George Kittle. And Ricky Pearsall single-handedly led the receiving core to a good game. 8 catches, 117, no touchdowns. We got to get him in the end zone at some point here. The Niners have a superstar at receiver in Ricky Pearsall.
Easiest call this week to say that Ricky Pearsall was going to go off in this game. I mean, when you think about just the way he's been playing and you look at that secondary, this was the easiest call. Now the problem is that while I joked on Twitter about, when we found out this morning that Juwan Jennings was out, that Christian McCaffrey and Ricky Pearsall all day. Mac Jones, I literally didn't mean that you can only throw the ball to Ricky Pearsall and Christian McCaffrey all day. Like, I literally didn't mean that. But yes, Ricky Pearsall is that guy. And, just every catch, it was a running joke. We got up to like 12 or 13 catches that were all for first downs. But man, it just that 4th down play, right? Mm-hmm. First of all, thank you, Kyle, for continuing to go for it. It didn't work out, in the red zone. We'll talk about that, I guess, in a little bit. But my God, that is a drop your nuts on the table, throw and catch from Mac and Pearsall, where that led to the first touchdown drive of the game by either team. Look, you can say a bunch of things about this offense, good and bad. You can say a bunch of things about Mac Jones, good and bad. That was very good. The interception in which he forced the ball to Ricky Pearsall, very bad. And for the people asking about Nick Bosa, I'm not, again, I'm not going to speculate, but he did get out of uniform and was standing on the sideline. So I don't know, I would think that if it was something that they thought was going to be super serious, he wouldn't be allowed to sit out and stand on the sideline. I don't know. Yeah. Just, reading the tea leaves, and, we did K-Star with the donation, give it up to Stout. Yep. Yeah, we, that's play of the game right there. That is play of the game. Like, he played all the way through the whistle to knock that thing out. Let's see. The unbeaten didn't have anxiety when it's time for a kick. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah.
What you're talking about before we got these donations here, Stout, with Pearsall, and like you mentioned the like red zone or the goal line plays, like the things you get to forget because you win this game, right? Like that was those 4 plays at the goal line were very not good. The Niners didn't get it done there, but you kind of can
Ungood.
forget about it a little bit because of it. But yeah, no, oh, that's what I was going to say. The Nick Bosa thing, right? That feels like a conversation for Sprint Right Option podcast on Monday when we have a little bit more details of what it could look like. I don't like the thumbs down thing. The broadcast did make sure to mention that it was a different leg than the torn ACL he had a couple of years ago. So that's obviously a positive. Let's talk about the defense, because the defense, I think, deserves a lot of credit, and something we talked a lot about on Friday, Jason. Kyler Murray, 6 rushes for 37 yards. They did a very good job containing him today. He didn't get too far out. I'm really feeling comfortable with this Niners run defense through 3 weeks. I know Kamara had the 98 yards last week. Today, obviously, very unfortunate situation with James Conner's knee injury, leg injury, whatever that may be.
No, that's it. It's ankle. He's done. His season's over, unfortunately.
But before the injury, nine carries for 22
bottled
yards.
Up, right? What did I
bottled up.
what did I say?
He's a player that the Niners have had issues with in the past. So 9 carries for 22 yards. Trey Benson comes in relief, 10 carries for 42 yards,
and the long run.
With a long run in there. So if you take away that, because he had the 29-yard run, that's 9 carries for 13 yards, if my math's correct.
But Andrew, what I wanted to say was, remember when we were doing the preview, I was telling you, Connor's going to get bottled up. The guy who actually has the juice is Benson, and that's exactly what you're like. Connor wasn't doing anything up until his injury. Now we don't, I hope his recovery is fast. He's not. He's done for the season. But Benson's the one that really has the juice. I wasn't worried about them slowing down Connor more than anything. Keep going
though. The Niners have a guy in Mykel Williams.
Yes.
He is so just so GD impressive on the run plays. I know a lot of what you're going to see, especially the nicer plays. Those are the plays that show on tape. And we talked about it a little bit after week 1, where people were like, hey, he the numbers weren't there for Mykel Williams, but he still had a good game because of what you saw on tape. Now it's starting to pop on the television broadcast where he's getting in the backfield. I mean, he left the game and then he had a pretty big stop on a 3rd down on the last drive of the first half, which, by the way, Bryce Huff, another sack there. That's a huge sack because Arizona gets the ball back with 18 seconds to go in the second quarter, near field goal range already. Maybe they make one throw, get in the field goal ranges. The second half's a little different, but Bryce Huff stuffs that. Robert Saleh is back. The Niners defense is back. I know there's complaints here and there that we can have, like Renardo Green's pass interference, which, by the way, I tend to agree with Rich Madrid on. Like, how are you calling pass interference on a ball that wasn't on a guy who wasn't even the ball was thrown to, because that ball was to Marvin Harrison, and I believe the PI was on Zay Jones. There's going to be things you can pick apart, but the Niners defense is why the Niners won this game, because it's an offense with Kyler Murray that we've seen in the past can hurt the Niners, and they held them to 15 points. And really they held them to 13 points because of the 2 points of the holding. The Niners defense is all the way back, and that is such a good sign, because in a game like this where the Niners offense really wasn't working that well, the Niners defense pitching, 13-point game is phenomenal. And that's something that made those, I'm not thinking soupy. I'm not thinking Super Bowl yet, Jason, right? But like, the defense is what made those Super Bowl teams possible. And that defensive juice is absolutely, like, the Niners have not missed a beat without Dre Greenlaw. They have not missed a beat without Talanoa Hufanga. We thought all these players the Niners lost in the offseason was going to be bad for the defense, and they've done a really good job. There's growing pains, right? Upton Sound didn't have a particularly good game up until he makes the big play in the fourth quarter. And then Brian Boucher right there, right? Upton Sound, Arizona gamble works, if not for the tenacity on 3rd down and long. The defense is starting to feel like a 49ers defense once again.
Man, sorry. Look, Bryce Huff is incredible, but you don't want to see him on the field for every single snap. I think that is a detriment to what his impact is, but he is great. And also shout out to the Arizona Cardinals for forgetting how to catch the football, because my God, this game would look completely different if Marvin Harrison knows how to catch the football. If Trey Benson catches that, that's probably a walk-in touchdown. you have to. I heard somebody say this, and I don't know if it was on a broadcast, but in order to put yourself in a position to be lucky, you have to be good.
Yeah.
Meaning, like, you have to play well enough to like have those lucky bounces happen. So yeah, the Cardinals didn't help, but Bryce Huff, Michael Williams, Nick Bosa looked great while he was in there. We're gonna find out what's going on. Fred Warner, fucking thank you. I don't know what we did to deserve you, but thank you.
Yeah.
You continue to make play after play, whether it's a run stuff, whether it's a pass knockdown. Like, you're trying to be DPOY again, right? Like, you're definitely going for that right now. Secondary, yeah, you're gonna have your ups and downs. Upton Stout, great play. Obviously, Jair Brown still in a big nickel. It's tough. Marcus Siegel scares me a little bit in coverage. You obviously don't want to have him isolated. You saw it with the Trey McBride thing, but Trey McBride's a tough cover for anybody. I think as the season goes on, as Robert Saleh continues to still get better, because I still think the 49ers defense still hasn't hit its stride yet, and they still need Malik Mustafa to come back. You're still going to see some adjustments, and I think it's game plan to game plan. Look, bottom line, Arizona, these games when Kyler Murray starts are always like this. Always. Yeah. Always.
Okay.
It's literally this type of game all the time. It's about who makes less mistakes, who makes more plays, and the 49ers made one less mistake, one more play, and Kyle says JLC just reports that Bosa just left the locker room with his family without crutches. Okay, so look, maybe Nick Bosa misses against Jacksonville. Cool, heal up and get ready for the Rams. The 49ers are 3-0, and I don't want to get everybody all worked up, but the last two times the San Francisco 49ers started 3-0, 2019, 2023. These are just coincidences. Just saying.
So what you're saying is I should be allowed to think soupy right now.
Oh yeah. And Roger Goodell was sitting next to Kay Adams and her fine ass, man. Yeah, hell yeah. That was. Did you see that in the booth? He was
I did not, but I was where Roger Goodell was in town.
Yeah, no, he was in the booth talking to Kay Adams, and I was like, man, it should have been me.
Love that. That screen pass to McCaffrey. Ball Arizona 36. You're obviously you're in field goal range, but not a comfortable range. Shanahan just calls a nifty little screen pass to McCaffrey for 20 yards, gets the Niners inside the 20-yard line, makes the field goal much, much more manageable. And I want to go back and give Mac Jones some flowers, man. He obviously is playing on one leg. He had some of those throws, he was stepping on it, and the ball, they were just coming out short. And he came through, and I'm reading the plays as we go right now. I mean, the final drive, it's incomplete pass, 11 yards, 10 yards, another incomplete pass, but an illegal use of hands wipes out the play. So he throws one incomplete pass, two incomplete passes on the final drive outside of the spike to stop the clock. I just such a gutsy performance, and I mean, we're used to seeing another number 10 with injury issues, and you see a number 10 today walk down the field with a bum knee, and he did the job, man. And like, again, you don't want to see Mac Jones play too much, but if this is what he can give you in these spot starts, that is unbelievable, and that is not something we've seen from a 49ers backup in the Kyle Shanahan era. And unfortunately, Jason, we have to talk a lot about backup quarterbacks here. Gray Fox, thank you for the donation. We're gritty and finding ways to win. This might be special. Now imagine when everyone comes back. Cal Raleigh, MVP. Fuck out of here with Judge. Love you guys.
I mean, I guess if you think that like winning a batting title and like, is like something that you should just be like, like, I guess,
Aaron Judge is pretty good at baseball. We're here to talk Niners though. That's an SRO conversation.
Yeah, my bad that Aaron Judge is like the greatest right-handed hitter you guys have ever seen probably in your life. Sorry.
But what you think about Mac Jones? The interception obviously wasn't very good. But what a gutsy performance for Mac Jones.
Yes, I'm good, and shout out to you, Great Fox. Appreciate you, bro. You're always a supporter, man. I'm having some fun with you. It's way easier to have fun after a win. Look, we have to talk about it, objectively. Early on in this game started out very slowly on offense. Obviously, the first touchdown in this game comes out in the fourth quarter. Then all of a sudden, everybody scores touchdowns. early on, and again, talking about it through the week, the Arizona Cardinals don't blitz. They're very much a front four that gets after it. Shout out to Calais Campbell. Like, Jesus Christ, dude, we get it. You're going to the Hall of Fame. Can you just stop? Like, we get it, man. Like, enough with the football. And early on, the 49ers, it was apparent that they were missing wide receivers. And as good as Ricky was, it can't just be Ricky and McCaffrey. Ricky and McCaffrey. It was like, okay, this time it's McCaffrey. Okay, this time it's Ricky. Okay, this time it's McCaffrey. Okay, this time it's Ricky. Like, it can't be that. And then when you couple that with the fact that, you and I both talked about the 49ers were going to have, some trouble running the football in this game. You start to get into that predictable range, and they're able to do things even with the depleted secondary on the back end that they want to do because you've become predictable. Kind of just put itself in that spot. Having said that, games like this are where if the offense is struggling in that way, you just hope your defense is keeping it together. And that's exactly what the 49ers defense was doing. They were keeping it together. Like, they just were giving up. Now, thank you to the sucky ass Cardinals kicker for missing the kick as well too. But again, complimentary football. One hand washes the other, both hands wash the face. Like, I think you can still be critical of decisions that Mac Jones made while still looking at it and saying when it was money time and he had to have the ball in his hands and drive them down the field, he did. And it wasn't like he did it from like a short field. He started from the 20. So, and on the leg, you could tell all that stuff. Gritty win. And again, when you're faced with the fact that a backup quarterback has to start 2 games, you have to realistically say, we'll take 1-1 and get out of here.
Yeah.
We'll take 2-0 and get out of here, and maybe Brock Purdy's back. Ryan Reed, thank you for the donation, buddy. Ricky Pearsall running routes makes me want to cry. Like Michelangelo painting a picture, Beethoven on the piano, him, Brandon Ayuk, serious problem. By the way, Demarcus Robinson back next week, maybe Juwan Jennings. Things are starting to take shape. It's so much better at the top. It's so much better at the top. And Gojira Von Jing says, Mac, 2 minutes better than Brock's. No questions for me. That's twice. You have the 2 minute at the end of the half in New Orleans, and then you have this one to win the game. All the credit in the world to Matt Jones, man. Like, great job. Thank you for your service. But if Brock's ready to go, I think you saw at times in this game why there really isn't a 49ers quarterback controversy at the same time. You can still praise what Mac Jones did and still say, yeah, man, I miss Brock Purdy. There was definitely times in that game where I was like, damn, I miss Brock because he can, make something happen out of this and that, So I think both things can be true. But thank you for your service. Thank you for being a loyal soldier. If he's ready to go next week, it's Brock Purdy. And I think this game, even though Mac went down and won it, probably solidifies Brock more than ever as the quarterback because, there was definitely times in this game where I was like, damn, I miss Brock.
Yeah, because Kazim, a guy I followed, he's a wrestling Twitter guy. He tweeted, Mac Jones is the Peyton Manning of Sam Darnold's.
Yeah, there you go.
Just throwing that out. It's a good tweet. Good. I like it. I personally like it.
Yeah.
Let's get a little negative, just really quick. Let's get it out of the way because there was a play that we do need to talk about that could have cost the game, and a good day overall for special teams. Right, Eddie Pinheiro 3 for 3 on field goal. Sky Moore. And this is the importance of why special team is important, right? Like, one play could have flipped this game, and Sky Moore is backing up his feet on the 5-yard line, and he calls a fair catch. There's no reason to call a fair catch. There's zero reason. You got to know where you're at on the field. Even if the ball takes a good bounce, it's fate, right? The ball decided to take the bounce for which direction.
Real quick, breaking news. Kyle Shanahan says that he believes that Nick Bosa avoided an ACL injury, but they will do further testing.
Okay, that's good to hear. That's they believe, but let's see.
I don't know if it's good to hear. It's here.
It's I like that. It's here. It's something to hear. But Sky Moore, he plants his feet at the 5-yard line, throws his hand in the air to fair catch it. You can't do that. You cannot do. You absolutely cannot do that. And it's something that you hope is just a little footnote, like, hey, can't do that. But then 2 plays later, Dominic Puni gets called for a holding, which, again, looking at that back angle, Jason, I don't think the holding happened in the end zone. I think the holding happened at the 3-yard line. And as we learned earlier in the game, the whole ball's got to be out of the end zone, right? The whole ball's got to be in the end zone.
His arm was out of the end zone too.
That's why special teams is so important, man. Because as good of a game as Eddie Pinheiro had, as good of a game, the rest of the special teams had. There was a couple long kickoff returns, nothing too bad because obviously the defense held up. If that final drive doesn't go the way it goes, we're talking about special teams once again. So I feel like it's something we need to mention because it is a part of the game, because it's a little different down 2 instead of, tie game in that situation. But yeah, it's something to know. I think it's something to put in the back pocket with this team's history of special teams. It's just something to have.
You're so nice, Andrew Pasquini, and I think that you eloquently laid out what's wrong with the special teams unit. Now allow me to take the other side. Aside from the kicker and the punter, the special teams unit is fucking atrocious. I don't care who the coach is. I don't care who the personnel is. Under Kyle Shanahan, this special teams unit is atrocious. And I want to understand why. The other thing is we are back to the same thing that we have been saying every single year. I would like this special teams unit to be a net zero unit. Net zero. Meaning not good, not bad, right in the middle. Not 31st in the league. I don't understand. I don't know what they do in practice. I don't know if it's stretching. I don't know if it's, like we're just going to start making shit up now. But the special teams unit is horrid. Different coach, different personnel, same person overseeing it. Nothing against you, Thomas Morstead. Nothing against you, Eddie Pinheiro, because you guys are doing your job very well. This special teams unit is trash. Again. And it's going to bite them in a big game. And that's what we're afraid of. But you know what? Whatever, man. Yeah. You know what's funny? He gives and he takes. So Sky Moore, boneheaded play. Sky Moore, big catch on the game-winning drive.
That's catch. A great transition, Jason. I like it because I don't want to stir too much on the negatives because it's a positive. Nope. It's a win, right? Ryan Reed, these injuries are starting to stack up. How do we continue to win games going forward? The season is long and teams will exploit our depleted roster. I mean, Ryan, I love you. You're always in the comments. We appreciate it. My smart ass answer is they'll continue to win games by scoring more points than the opponent. That's simply what they did today, right? Because they had the injuries affected them today. But I mean, you see Bryce Huff, you see Michael Williams, Yetur Gross-Matos was out there again. I wish I could give you a deeper answer of like how are they going to keep winning games, but just simply put, man, just keep outscoring opponents. I mean, the defense. Maybe a silver lining, I don't know, but you lose Nick Bosa relatively early in this game, and the defense did not miss a beat. There was no, like there's secondary issues like Marvin Harrison being wide open and dropping a pass. He had another chance. He catches a wide. The secondary issues exist, but outside of that, man, like where's the fault in the defense at this point? And that's a game without Nick Bosa for most of it. So. I understand the concern for injuries, but right now, like for most of the season, for 2/3 of the season, the 49ers have been without their starting quarterback, without their starting tight end, without their starting receiver. Today, they were out without their second starting receiver. They're without their starting left guard, Connor Colby. We'll talk about that tomorrow after Jason Aponte watches the film. They were without Nick Bosa today, and they're 3-0. So, like I understand the concern of the injuries, and that's something I'll talk about NinersNation.com tomorrow in an article. Because one of the things we learned is like at what point are the injuries going to be too much? But the injuries have not been too much yet. And maybe you can say, well, maybe they win by more against the Saints last week if they're healthy, or maybe they win this game by more if the Niners are healthy. But the point is the Niners are still outscoring opponents despite these injuries right now. And that's kind of where I'm sitting at is until these injuries actually start costing them games, I can't really lose sleep over it right now because the Niners are 3-0. The Niners are undefeated.
Kyle Shanahan clarified his statement on Nick Bosa by saying, it doesn't feel like that right now, but we're not completely out of the woods for an ACL.
Yeah. I don't like to hear that.
Well, he clarified it. So, and that's why I said, like, when you said, oh, that's good to hear. No, it's just here. Because, as we know with the 49ers, he has a sprained toe. You have to cut his foot off, the next day is what you're going to hear. Your light just went out. But,
don't know why.
In regards to what Ryan's saying, I think the way that we viewed this team going into the season was the offense is going to have to lift the defense while we have all these new pieces and, guys that are going to be caught up to speed, through 3 games, the defense is going to give you a look at every single game. Offense, I'm looking at you. I'm looking at you right now. I mean, you did enough to win this game. You did enough to win all 3 games. But the defense is what's giving you a look at it every single week. And Nick Bosa was out early in this game. So I went from, wow, the offense is going to have to be very high-powered and we're going to have these bumps and bruises to bumps and bruises are on the offensive side. Now, yes, Brock Purdy's not there. Yes, George Kittle's not there. No Demarcus Robinson. All of those things are true, right? But the little stuff, right? The little stuff is still like just a little bit off. But the defense is always going to give you a look at it. If you would have told me before this game, and let's just say, whatever, we count the safety, the San Francisco 49ers are going to give up 15 points, I would have said the 49ers roll in this one. They probably score 24, 27, easy game, never a doubt. But what we've learned through 3 weeks, and again, 3 weeks isn't a trend. I'd say 4 weeks is when we start to really understand what a football team is. But through 3 weeks, the 49ers make the plays at the end of the game that they have to, regardless of the opponent. But the defense is always going to give you a shot and a look. That's Robert Saleh. That's Michael Williams blossoming right before your eyes. That's the fact that Diamador Lenore doesn't get the ball thrown at him. Fred Warner's a stud and is just unbelievable and unreal. Same thing with D. Winters. Now we just wait for what's going on with Nick Bosa. But the defense is always going to give you a look at it. It's up to the offense to really catch up. And I'm waiting for that. And when they do, when Kittle's back, Robinson returns next week, when Ayuk is back, things start to roll a little bit more. You're gonna start to see some things happening. So that's why it's not wrong to be overly optimistic. It's not wrong to be excited about what's coming forward. Because again, under Kyle Shanahan, aside from 2023, the 49ers offense doesn't hit its stride until week 5, week 6, and then they get rolling, right? So if history is any indicator, it's that it takes a little while, and then you get the starting quarterback back. You get that all-world tight end back. That wide receiver room gets a lot more solid. The defense is always going to give you a look regardless of the sum of its parts because of who Robert Saleh is. But, yeah, the defense is ahead of the offense. And when the offense catches up, oh, baby, now we're cooking.
Maybe another positive thing, Jason, the 49ers finished 1-5 against the NFC West last season. They're already 2-0. And you're banking these wins early. If the division comes down to a tiebreaker, Niners are already set up well. I don't have the Rams played a division game yet. I don't think they have. So like certain teams haven't played a division game, which, by the way, heartbreaking loss for the Rams today. I don't know why my light keeps turning off, but these are very important games to have in your back pocket already, because again, as we've said multiple times, Jason, I'd rather almost lose than almost win. And that's what the Niners are doing. It's a division now full of 2-1 teams, and the Niners are 3-0 with the tiebreaker. They're the only 2-0 team within their division. They're actually their only team with a division win, because the only division game so far is 49ers versus Arizona and 49ers versus Seattle. Obviously, Arizona plays Seattle on Thursday night, so that'll be another one for them to kind of see how they figure out. And then the Niners have another one in 2 weeks. Obviously, the Jaguars next week, but then the Thursday night game against the Rams. Pocketing these early season division wins are always huge. I'm never going to care how it gets done. The Niners did it. Jason, I think you said earlier this week, these instant reactions are they're easier to do when the teams are winning. They're tougher to do when they lose. Mm-hmm. This might be the toughest one I've had so far, because it went from like, holy shit, they're losing this game, to like they're winning it in the flip of a coin, and I didn't know what to expect. But yeah, man, these are much more fun when they win, though.
At least we're still showing you guys that we're fans, because we're relieved. Like I've been on an alcohol break for a while. Boy, when this is over and we close this up, I'm gonna run to the liquor store just to because I'm gonna need it to watch the Chiefs and Giants regardless. But yeah, I definitely could use a drink tonight. But look, again, man, doesn't matter how you get it done, as long as you get it done. And again, I'm telling you, like if you're telling an NFL football team your backup quarterback has to start 2 games, the realistic mindset has to be, let's get one of these. And, you lose one and let's get out of here. The 49ers won both. And now Brock comes back. And now DeMarcus Robinson's back. And the Jacksonville Jaguars aren't exactly a juggernaut, right? Like they're just awful. Like Trevor Lawrence stinks. I think we need to have a discussion, man. I'm done. I'm done with the drop stuff because they did have drops. I'm done with the drop stuff. I think he's ungood. I'm gonna start going on record. He's ungood.
I was somebody who held on to my Trevor Lawrence stocks
Mm-hmm.
a little too long, and I think I might be out on that.
He's ungood. Just again, watching that Texans game, I got a chance to watch many of the games this morning, which it's funny how quickly those games went from snoozers to thrillers real fast.
Yeah.
But the 49ers have a better record than the Rams. The 49ers have a better record than the Packers, who everybody already was just like, oh, they won the Super Bowl. Like, you see how quickly things change. So, again, if you want to judge the 49ers on the quality, on the how, that's up to you, right?
Yeah.
Like, oh, they struggled with this team. Oh, they struggled with that team. Fine. I understand in this league how hard it is to win games and how this team looks completely different in that regard because they would have lost this game last year, regardless of who would have been on the field. They would have just found. Think about last year's Arizona game after Jake Moody got injured, right? Think about that game. The 49ers are knocking on the door and Jordan Mason fumbled.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And then what? Long pass on Isaac Yiadom. Game over. Mm-hmm. You get sent home by Arizona. But not this time, right? Christian McCaffrey's playing. Mac Jones finishes the game. Like, I'm not into the whole like judging of the team, right? What I will look at and what I will be objective is what are the weaknesses and how will teams attack, right? So, for instance, going back to the Rams and Eagles game, the Eagles won that game. They have every right to be excited. What a game. But exactly what we were predicting going into that game and where they're going to struggle is how other teams are going to attack them. Now, apply that same logic to the San Francisco 49ers because you won the game, but if people start to pick stuff up on tape, that's where they're going to attack you. And right now, the interior offensive line, it looks like if you have a good pass rush with 4, it's going to be tough. Calais Campbell was ripping shit up. Thank God Zaven Collins got, well, not thank God. I don't want to say that, but Zaven Collins left this game, and I thought Trent Williams died. Did you see how it, landed on his arm? Like, in his arm? I was just like, oh, my God, he's knocked out, but he just got up.
There was a play, too, where Mac landed pretty hard on him.
Yeah. But, again, like, I can't really, get too down on these games, but there are things that they need to fix because other teams will attack those things. I think all of those things are true. You can't just sit here and say the 49ers stink because they barely won this game. No, they won. But what you can say is I'm concerned with the defense's, the defense's ability to pressure up front or, on the back end or how offensively it seemed like through these first 3 weeks, it's not really many answers outside of Ricky Pearsall and George Kittle. Now,
run game's
been bad. Too. Right. The longest run of the season belongs to Brian Robinson now. Like we're going to have to start keeping, we're going to have to start keeping a log on this. So again, you look at it that way, but the 49ers are not going to have that issue for much longer with, who they have to throw the football to, who they have to get the ball to, because people are coming back. DeMarcus Robinson's back next week, and he's not going to have to learn the offense. He had an entire training camp, and he looked very good.
Yeah, it's getting to a point too, Jason, where we could have the conversation of
I knew it wasn't just me.
Yeah,
I was scared. I was like, oh my God. And because he just went like this and just, he laid down like he was knocked out. And I was like, oh my God, Trent's dead.
It's getting to a point too with the injuries, Jason, where it's like the big trade deadline acquisition is going to be just all the players that get back from injury. Because now at this point, obviously knock on wood, Nick Bosa, hopefully he's okay. But it's George Kittle, it's Ayuk, Mustafa, right? Like they're going to get better. And ideally they get them back and they stay healthy. So again, I'd much rather be 3-0 with the way they've won these games than 1-2 with how they could have lost to Seattle and how they could have lost to Arizona. Not a lot of complaints for me on it. What do I keep saying, Jason? They don't ask how, they ask how many. I don't care how they did it today because Jason and I were sitting here talking about a win in front of about 200 of you. So that's what we would much rather do than because Jason, if the Niners would have lost this game, we'd be still talking about Sky Moore, right? We'd still be talking about Sky Moore in that fair
because he blew it.
But
he redeemed himself with a catch on the game-winning drive. So.
Exactly. So the redeem aspect, it's we'd much rather be doing this. Christian McCaffrey, 10 catches, 88 yards. I think we talk about the the run game being poor, but like this is how good Christian McCaffrey is, man. He hasn't had a particularly good game yet this season, but this is his third game in a row with 100 scrimmage yards. And what is that? 52 plus 88. That's 140 something total scrimmage yards, and we've barely mentioned him. And like, I understand why people aren't thrilled with how he's played so far, because he doesn't look as explosive as he used to, right? He doesn't look like that. What was it? The 25 mile per hour speed that Shanahan was advertising. But even in these quiet games that feel quiet, he has 100. I mean, the best way I can compare it, Jason, is I went to game 5 of the 2016 Western Conference Finals. It was the Warriors Thunders. The Warriors were down 3-1. They canceled the finals that year. But one of my favorite players of all time is Kevin Durant. And after the Warriors win the game, I'm like, man, I feel like I really didn't notice Durant that game. And as I thought that, they were going over the leading scores, and it was Durant 42 points. I'm like, holy fuck, Kevin Durant had 42 points. I felt 42. Like I barely noticed him. And that's kind of what it is with McCaffrey, is like we're talking about him not looking explosive, but this is his third game in a row with 100 yards from scrimmage. So it's something. Just having him as like it's the ultimate security blanket. Even when he's not explosive play, he's still just quietly getting 8 yards a carry and not 8 yards, 8 yards of reception. Obviously the running isn't there yet, but that's why you have a Christian McCaffrey, is because if he's not working in the run game, he's going to work in the pass game. I mean, you see Devin Achane out in Miami, he's getting 10 catches a game for like 30 yards. And
beautiful
PPR. McCaffrey doesn't do that. McCaffrey, he catches it. It's just so nice to have a player like Christian McCaffrey, because even when it doesn't feel like he's having big games, he's having big games. It's just not as big as we're used to.
Alex, so to answer this question, does Kittle need to wait an extra week after that? Week 6, Tampa Bay. That's your landmark for George Kittle, Malik Mustafa, Brandon Ayuk, hopefully in tandem with Demarcus Robinson, Jawan Jennings, and Ricky Pearsall. So week 6, it's not the week 5 game. You're not going to do that to Brandon Ayuk, even if he is available, right? Like in that game, week 6 against Tampa Bay is your landmark for all those guys. So again, hold the fort, hold the line. You've already got 3 wins, so you can make it 4 against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Okay, let's do worst case scenario. You lose to the Rams. You are now 4-1, but you have 2 divisional wins, and then everybody's back against Tampa Bay. And you start to roll, right? Like we, again, I know we joke a lot in this podcast about 20-0, and all that stuff and winning it all. But, before these guys come back, you have to stack as many wins as you can. And now winning 3 in a row, you can get greedy now. Because I don't think anybody would have been upset with a 3-2 start, going into week 6. The 49ers potentially can be 4-1 going into week 6. Like this is like the way that you should be thinking about it. Like right now, 3 wins, that should be, again, just realistically. Again, we joke around 17-0, all that stuff. But again, like I said, if you have a backup quarterback and you say he's going to start 2 games, you have to realistically put in your mind 1-1.
Yeah. And
say, listen, we'll take that and we'll get back. But what you should be looking at, and the way you should have been looking at the beginning of these games, and especially when, you find out that Brock's going to be injured, you say, listen, let's get to 3-2, and then we'll take our chances in week 6. The 49ers could be 4-1. They still could be 3-2, but I'm not going to, say that. I really don't think that highly of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Yeah. I really don't think they're a good football team. But it's just now you have an opportunity to get greedy. And if you walk into that Tampa Bay game and you're 4-1 and Brandon Ayuk is back and George Kittle's back, you understand where we're going here with this ideology. It's not something that we're like overly optimistic or we're just rose-colored glasses, because trust me, man, if shit was really bad, I would tell you. You guys know I would tell you. But I'm not looking at it that way.
Yeah.
How I'm viewing it is they're winning football games the way that they are, not at full strength, not playing their best football, and we're not talking about, some guys are coming back. We're talking about the best tight end in the world. Yeah. We're talking about the, by certain metrics, the best separator at the wide receiver position. Let's see where he's at. Like, I feel very good about this. And if the 49ers walk into that game 4-1, if the 49ers, best case scenario, walk in 5-0, you're still talking about a team that's nowhere near hit their ceiling. And that's what I think people should be excited about.
Yeah. And like even too, you go beyond the Tampa Bay game and like, maybe
Oh,
they're
there he
4-1. And even if they lose, champion GG, 49ers, you deserve that win. Go Cards. Look at that. We love it. We love it. We love it
Wow.
when we
Yeah.
love
Hey,
it when
man,
fans of other teams come back and
that is
say
classy,
something.
man.
Yeah.
And you know what? You're good in my book. And Mario says, so Houston is that bad? Yes, Houston stinks.
Well, that's what I was.
Yeah,
that's what I was getting to. Even if you get to Tampa Bay 4-1, and let's say they lose to Tampa Bay, you're 4-2. You're feeling fine, right? After Tampa Bay, it's Atlanta, which I don't know if you saw. They got skunked by the Carolina Panthers. Then it's at Houston, who stink, and then at the Giants. And so, like, even if you go 4-2 after the Tampa Bay game, there's a chance to kind of roll momentum before you get to the Rams and Cardinals again. And then even after that, it's Carolina and then at Cleveland, which at Cleveland is a little weird.
Oh, I don't like that game at all.
Green Bay fans learned that today, right?
So I don't like that game at all. Their defense is so good.
It's just a situation, Jason, that like obviously it hasn't been the prettiest, but the Niners are 3-0 and they're setting themselves up. I mean, last year at this point, Jason, they were 1-2. So it's just. Again, if you want to talk about the ugliness, that's fine. If you want to talk about how not great they've looked, that's totally fine. But if you're saying that out of one side of your mouth, you got to mention 3-0 out of the other, right? And that's just kind of what it is.
Would you rather be 3-0 with close wins, or 0-3 with close losses?
Yeah,
like
exactly.
There's a way to break this down where you say this team is not perfect. By no means are they perfect. By no means. There's many things that the 49ers need to clean up. There's many things I believe the 49ers will clean up. There's many things that are true as well, too. There's players that are coming back, and they're not just anybody. They're literally one is like the top of his position, So I don't buy into the fact that it's just like, oh, you struggle with the Saints. Well, look what, Seattle just did to them. But I think you and I were talking about it where I was just like, this is the week where everybody's going to find out, oh, shit, the New Orleans Saints are actually, really bad. Like really bad. But again, it doesn't matter. You're not going to play the Saints again. The goal is to not play well enough to beat the Saints as the season goes on. The goal is to go like this.
Yep.
Not like this, not like this, and not like this, like this. So if you're ascending, and this wasn't the 49ers' best game, but damn it all, the defense held it down against a team that's very, very pesky against themselves. And again, they overcame special teams miscues. And when was given the ball with 2 minutes left, they went down and scored. They scored on a field goal on an expertly crafted drive.
Yeah.
I mean, those are things that the 49ers just weren't doing last season, and they are now. And now to show for it, they're 3-0 with a chance to get healthier, with a chance to improve. I don't see how you're not enthusiastic about this team, because I would definitely throw water on it and say, listen, this is fool's gold. I don't think that that's what this is, because people haven't hit their ceiling. Now, a lot of my optimism hinges on what we're going to find out about Nick Bosa in the coming days. If it's a sprain and he has to sit out against Jacksonville, fine. Andrew left. If it's a sprain and he has to sit out against Jacksonville, fine. But if it's worst case scenario, that is a death blow to the 49ers season. So, it's different, right? Like it's a different thing, where it's, if it's just a sprain, you can get by a week or two, hopefully you get by, get back for the Rams game, because that's going to be a tough game as always. But if it is worst case scenario, that's a death blow to the 49ers season. And that's something that, I can overly be hyped about George Kittle and all these guys coming back, that I don't think this 49ers team can, absorb, because he is so good and he has been playing so well.
Dude, let's just hypothetically throw it out there if it is worst case, and we don't hope it is. Do you Niners call about Trey Hendrickson?
No. I wanted them to do something like this, but they already have Bryce Huff. You'd have to start looking at, lower end edge guys that are older. Zadarius Smith, maybe, somebody like that ilk. I mean, but I don't know.
We don't need to talk about it.
No, but I think the 49ers they'll just try to do it with what they got, with what they got in house. So
3-0, 3-0 doing that. So what can you ask for? You want to do 3 stars?
Sure, let's do it.
I don't even know where to start with 3 stars because it is just a lot happened that game. Eddie Pinheiro, 3rd star for me. 3 for 3 on field goals, game winner, 51-yard long. And my stomach, it doesn't make me feel like I have diarrhea when he kicks. So Eddie Pinheiro, my 3rd star.
Matt Jones, my 3rd star, man. Hey, look, way to go. I would have put you up higher, but I have somebody who I am super excited, who I feel like played like a flawless game in this game. But had your bumps and bruises, but man, you got my respect, man. And you know what you just did? You literally just put yourself in a position where now you're getting a bag in the offseason, and you're taking somebody's job next year, man. Like, so, shout out to Kyle Shanahan. He makes everybody, some money, and they go off somewhere else and they continue their career. Mac Jones is next. So I got Mac Jones number 3.
I'm gonna go Ricky Pearsall number 2. 8 receptions, 117. Really the only offensive player worth a damn this game outside of Mac Jones, who led that drive. Christian McCaffrey. Well, yeah, I said he not a great game, but just casually over 100 yards total. So like, what did I say about him? But Pearsall, that obviously the 34-yard catch was a huge play, which, by the way, just a ballsy call by Kyle Shanahan. That is, I think I saw you put the Serrano video from Major League on that because like there's no gimmicks to that route. It's not like it was a stop and go. It was we got Ricky Pearsall on our team, stop him, and you remember how I used to talk about, Jason, about how not every team has a number 1 receiver. It's like a special designation to me of it's like an ace in baseball. Like every team has their number 1 starter, but just because you're number 1 starter doesn't mean you're an ace. I'm getting that like Ricky Pearsall has number 1 receiver potential feeling right now. And that's not a number 1 receiver for the Niners. That is a definition of a number 1 receiver in the NFL. So I'm going to go with Ricky Pearsall as my 2nd.
Yeah, Fred Warner's my 2nd, man. I don't know what we did to deserve you. I don't know why San Francisco is linebacker Valhalla, but stopping the run, knocking down passes, I just don't understand. I don't understand. And I don't need to understand. I'm just happy. And it's always you, your leadership on and off the field, man. It's always when we need a big play, and it's always looking like, it's 54 in the mix, man. Fred Warner, we are not worthy.
I'm going to go Fred Warner as my number 1 star, as just kind of as a way to say the whole defense really deserves the number 1 star. But I'm going to give it to Fred Warner. I mean, he's the heartbeat of this team. He has that deflection at the line of scrimmage on the play before the punt that led to the fair catch. But that's a huge play because if Arizona gets the first down there, they can kind of kill more time, get more points. He's just all over the place, man. He's so talented. He's probably the defensive player of the year leader through 3 games right now. He's just all over the place. 11 tackles, 2 pass deflections. But really it's just my way of giving the entire defense player of the game, but through Fred Warner, because he's the leader of this defense.
Yeah, man. Ruben, good to see you, my guy. Sky Moore redeemed himself on the final drive with allowing the ball to go over his head on the punt and into the end zone. And he also had a catch on the game-winning drive, man. This full circle, man. It's a completely different thing with Sky Moore, but good to see you, buddy. It's always good to see you in the chat. Number 1's Ricky Pearsall. Look, man, in a game in which I didn't jump out the window when I was like, oh, Ricky Pearsall is going to have a big game in this game. You're down Will Johnson and Garrett Williams and Sean Murphy Bunting, and you're down to playing your 5th and 6th wide receivers. I think Ricky Pearsall is good against any competition. It was clear that he was going to do something like this. But what I'm really giving it to him for is because Arizona knew that. And they knew Jennings wasn't going to play in this game. Arizona knew, hey, we might want to keep an eye on number 1. Well, you can't, because he's still going to make all those catches. You just can't. So, again, I have a little bit of, especially when I watch wide receivers, where I'm like, you're playing off of the fact that they're paying attention to someone else. What happens when everyone looks at you? Well, that's what happens when everyone looks at you. And I don't care who the other guys are. They weren't able to bracket him. They weren't able to contain him. And it's only going to get better when Brandon Ayuk and Demarcus Robinson and George Kittle return. This is a full-on go crazy Ricky Pearsall year. And through 3 weeks, he has been phenomenal, even if the ball hasn't gone his way every single time. I implore you, if you have some downtime and you're looking to celebrate like I am, because these wins are hard to come by in the NFL and you want to keep the vibes going, just pop on the All-22 and watch how many times he routes somebody up but the ball doesn't go his way. Not every single time that he's open, he's getting the ball. Like Ricky Pearsall is blossoming before our eyes, man, and it's a beautiful thing. And I love the fact that a first-round wide receiver is working out because everybody buried the kid so quickly, and they said, I can't believe this, he's soft, Nope. Ricky Pearsall indeed is like that, and I'm very happy.
Ricky Pearsall is getting to a point too where like Brandon Ayuk might be receiver 2 when he comes back, and that's a crazy sentence to say because we know how good Brandon Ayuk can be if he returns healthy. Jason, the Niners are 3-0. That's really all you can say about it, man. Like it's silly, it's goofy, it's funny, it's you don't think they're 3-0, but they're 3-0 because they keep scoring more points than their opponent. Where's Jesse with their stat? What's the record when the Niners outscore their opponents?
Jesse, if you're in here, what is the advanced analytics stat that Jalen Hurts tried to, co-op and use because he's not very, clever or anything like that? What's the stat about the 49ers and how many games they've won when they outscore their opponent?
Yeah, just need an update on that, Jesse. So we appreciate it. Jason, that was fun. That was fun, man. Kong, yes, Robinson is back next week. So the Niners, another edition. Then also I saw somebody, I don't know if they're still here, but in the comments ask about challenging the spot where Puny held the guy. That's not a challengeable play.
That's not a challengeable thing.
I know you can't challenge penalties, although the specific of there it is, Jesse. Niners are 3-0 when they score more points than their opponent. We're big advanced analytics here over on Jason Aponte's YouTube channel. Niners are undefeated 3-0 when they outscore their opponents. Jason, we'll be back tomorrow, 5 o'clock.
Yeah, we will. And real quick, if you're here, 176 people in here, whether you're new, whether you're old, whether you're rocking with us, you definitely will. Please drop a like and drop a subscribe as well too. A lot of content coming down during the week. And also check out our written work on NinersNation.com, which is an SB Nation offshoot. So yeah, man, 3-0. Top feels so much better than the bottom. It's really I couldn't imagine waking up tomorrow and like my team wasn't 3-0. Like for real, like the disrespect that I have. I mean, like I wouldn't allow myself to be disrespected. That's just me though. That's just me.
I couldn't imagine being up 26-7 and then all of a sudden being in last place in the NFC West.
Yeah. I mean,
that happened.
I mean, I couldn't imagine, going to Levi Stadium and not walking out with a victory. Like I wouldn't let my team do that. I wouldn't put up with that shit. No,
honestly. I wouldn't put up with it. I wouldn't put up having a bad backup quarterback too. And the Niners don't have one of those, pal.
See, we can get to popping on shit now because like we literally sat here and we did everything the right way, and we talked about everything and we talked through all of it. But bottom line, 3-0 on you hoes. Top feels so much better than the bottom. Wouldn't want to be you, and I always want to be me. And if I choose you or me, it's always gonna be me, especially when my team is 3-0. So like I mean, we were gracious this entire time, but pop the champagne 3-0.
First place in the NFC West. Who are the remaining undefeateds? Who is it? It's Buffalo, Indianapolis. Which hey, shout out Indianapolis.
Oh my god.
Made me look a little silly today. That's okay. The Chargers, the Eagles, and the Buccaneers, and the Niners are the 6th. So
yeah, and
there could be a potential crash course coming up in Tampa Bay. 5-0 Niners, 5-0 Buccaneers. Still a little early, but hey.
And just throwing this out there, again, the last 2 times the San Francisco 49ers started 3-0, 2019, 2023. Not gonna say it, but you know where I'm going with it. And Ruben says, love all the analysis, but the pop it off segment after a win is my favorite. Let's fucking go.
Well, one thing to pop off on, we haven't even talked about it, Jason. I'm sorry to mention it an hour. We're getting out of here because Sunday Night Football is about to start. How big of a decision to wear the white uniforms at home instead of reds? Like if they wear red, they might lose this game. They might be a little too tired to do that fourth quarter drive.
The only thing I don't want to talk about more than kickers is jerseys. I don't care, man. Wear a trash bag. Wear a burlap sack. Just win the fucking game. I don't care, man. I really don't care. God. But I mean, I look forward thinking. Like you don't want guys. And then what's best about it is, I don't want my team to wear red because we're gonna sweat in it. But Arizona, you have to wear red so you can sweat in it. Masterclass, absolute masterclass.
Yeah, man. Maybe that's why they got a little tired at the end of the game. Couldn't quite hold on because the red was just a little too much. Jason, that'll do it. I love
Yep.
it. 3-0. We'll be back tomorrow, 5:15 Pacific time. You know the drill. Sprint Right Option Podcast. So if you guys are here, be sure to be there. We'll have more analysis. Jason will watch the film. We'll have more updates on Nick Bosa, all that fun stuff. But Jason Aponte, as always.
Let's go Niners. 3-0.
Let's go Niners. Never in doubt.
Never a doubt.